Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Space Engineer's Rail Survival. So, I'm here on the train, but this isn't quite the train, because this is not the real train. Or more exactly, this is the real train in an, I guess, alternate reality? I'm currently in a survival world that I did for testing, because as you know last time, I was trying to figure out how to make track switches to get from that track to this track. And I figured it out. There were a lot of great suggestions. Unfortunately, before most of them, I kind of came in and did a lot of testing and discovered the best solution was just to make it a little longer. So, yeah, I've got one hinge, one segment of track that just moves. And basically what I did was just build it out super long, build that middle bit, and then trim it and add to this until I basically got it in position. You can see, I mean, there is a gap here, but we need a gap. Gaps are important. There's actually a little bit more gap on this original one because I had the double pistons there. But, here. I hop in the old trainy train. We can see, even with that gap, no issue. I can traverse it at speed. And then, if we reverse it here, you can see it's nice. Swings nice and comfortably. Stops good. It doesn't bounce up and down like some of the multi-segment things had an issue of. And now, if I get my camera, I did not build this track in a way that makes it easy to film, which may have been a mistake. But you can see now, happily and easily hop onto the other track. Now there are a few, dang camera, there are a few other experiments that you can see here. So I'll show this is a essentially slightly simplified version of the other one where I only have one hinge or one piston separating. You can see the gap here is even tighter. It's pretty much perfect. It's still enough that this can easily swing back and forth. It's also built, so this is gonna probably be the actual system. This guy here. It's the right length. I measured out the length that middle bit's supposed to be. So this I could easily copy and build into wherever I need it. Now, this is a little different. This is my attempt if I want to do basically a Y. So if we fly up here, you can imagine if this track is going just straight along, over there, I need to basically go and do a 90-degree switch. Now I can do that by having one of these little switches part way down and basically having a curve that goes off each way. And this is what that curve will look like. This is a curve as I would design it. So it's got the sort of chain segments that allow these to have just enough room to turn a little bit. And this is going a full 90 degrees. What I was curious about is if this system could work as my switch. So, and I don't, no, I can access from here. So if I go in here, select all these 90-degree curve hinges, they do all have shear inertia tensor, as do their pistons. But if I go ahead and hit reverse, They do move. It's a little disturbing looking. They wiggle for quite a bit. And if you look, so this rail comes around and should be just above the pistons, which actually it is. Okay. So that's better. When I first built this, not everything had shear inertia tensor on it, and it was sagging to the point that this was basically touching the ground. So mechanically, this would work. Oh, right, except for this slight issue. So that guy there is where the track would be. Now, admittedly, I don't have to build the track like this where it's connected to the original, but for a Switch, it does make it more convenient, but you can see the geometry does not line up. Now, when I'm building my curves, that doesn't matter because I would build off this end and just go from there, so it will line up. In fact, this last bit would be the track going forward. But, yeah. So I think in reality, my best bet is going to be this guy, which is just a very straightforward, simple system. Requires far fewer subgrids than that, and I'm already going to have a lot because, again, that is a standard curve. That's how the turning is going to work. It'll just be, instead of these being, free-floating and inertia tensored together, they are going to be static grids, or at least, like, maybe every other one will end up being a static grid. We'll see how easily I can make him work. But yeah, so I think now we will fade out and fade into the prime reality where I can actually build some of this junk. So yeah, that's our current plan. Now we actually go and build it for real. And I think first what I'll do is get rid of this guy. Do I actually want... Yeah, I probably should have the switch here. Now, it is an interesting point of order. As it is, no, I should be able to make a, like, multi-track rail yard that works. It'll just have these weird Ys at each end. Because otherwise, because this sort of, the final track is in the middle, it makes it really tricky to, like, if I put one of these and then have another one right here, it means that my tracks end up too close together over here. I'm going to go ahead and, as I get full load into the truck, just because I think the truck is going to be how I, how I build track going forward, so I might as well get it a little loaded up now. Alright. Oh, and I did... Hold on. I forgot something I wanted to do. Let's, go into the medicine cabinet real quick. Alright. And now... Ah, yes. That's a little better. Took some eye drops, and now everything's a little clearer. Still pretty terrifyingly bright. And the clouds don't maybe make a ton of sense logically speaking, but that's hopefully a little bit nicer. Alright. So all of this can stay. So let's... should work. So this will be... so it's 17 with the piston not where it is. This should be, oh, come on. This should be 16 blocks out. So 16. And then we have our indie bit. There. Stick that guy in. Stick that guy in. Find my blast door blocks. There you are. So now...
Fuel low.
Now I need to get fuel.
Fuel
Ooh.
critical.
Dramatic. I guess I could be using the catwalk to do this, but... this just seems easier. Okay. So that should... Oh, and I forgot to make this a static grid first. That should be alright. I don't know if that locked, but... should be able to see. I'll build this guy. Oh, interesting. So the gear, the original big foot guys, they lock even if they're unbuilt. Apparently the plates don't. That's good to know. Anyway, that's now a station. Means I can do that. Now, we get this guy built. Let's see if I actually got my measurements right. Once I have one of these in the world, it'll be easy because I can just come and check it. But I don't want to have to go back and forth between simulated and true reality, as it were. And I forgot to write anything down. So I'm just going to try and remember. I feel like 5 was the angle. Oh, right. And cha-cha. Share inertia tensor. I probably don't need to share it on the track. Okay. No, 5 is not the angle. Might have been 7. I think it was a little sharper. Than previous. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. And that's, I mean, I think, no, this design wouldn't do it. It's too tight. I have done a version of this that basically was just 2 wheels and then 1 up here. It could go around these guys, the 45 curves. I figured that wouldn't be very elegant for this, and it's not very good for high speed because you're doing a 45-degree angle turn every time you turn. But these bogies can actually negotiate fairly tight corners if you want them to, which is good. So that is that. Now, let's land. Now, I have some decisions to make I could build the other end of the rail yard now, get that kind of, you know, basically have the ability to continue on to wherever I need to continue to. Or I just continue out this way and head to the nickel mine. And I kind of like the idea of just getting track down and having another destination. Because then we use everything, we get to kind of test everything before we go building a bunch of more complex systems. And in reality, again, with that realization of how the switching is going to have to work, I may not actually have a switch at both ends here. It may be that this through line is what goes all the way out, and then I have to sort of zigzag. That's not ideal, actually. That's not ideal, but we can deal with that in the future. Let's get more fuel. Don't have to go over here to do this, but I did. Okay. Can I just continue this on straight? I think I can for a while. This hill should be low enough. Let's go ahead. Load up the truck with materials. Mainly steel plate. Let's build a track. That should be more than enough steel to at least get me a good way along. Oh, crumb. That sounds like one of those lightning storms. Okay, well, radiation's not getting bad yet. Oh boy. There it is. Well, we're close to home. Oh, hello, Pillar. Do I have one of those Healy kits? I don't think I do. No. Can I produce the radiation thing? I don't believe I can. No. Yeah, nope. Okay. Well, that's inconvenient. I guess we just seal up the garage and wait it out. So there has been something I've been wanting to do for a bit. We'll see how it works out here. Is there any... Okay. Gonna assume this is what I need. There's not a ton of instruction on this bad boy. Is there any... Hold on. Nope. Okay. Oh, and I think the storm has passed, but now I'm in the middle of doing this. Hold on. Oh, right. Everything vibrates still. Try that. And then... this guy... oh god, it's working. Okay. Look at this. How... ah. Oh good, it stops. Well, I'm not going to be able to tell. I'm playing a nondescript block falling down game. It can't be... nope, that gets out. How am I... okay, W rotates. I'm guessing S does the same. There's a bit delay. Everything's a little jiggly. My brain is struggling. Yeah, this is now kind of, I guess, useless. Because the storm's passed, but look at that. Now we have entertainment. Anyway. Oh, hello, spiders. Alrighty. Track building. Can I... I was hopeful I could do this from the ground, but... it should be alright. Yeah. So. I think how I'm gonna do this. Turns are obviously much more complex and expensive because of the pistons and hinges. So ideally I can do this with like only one and then one at the end. So I'm just gonna go straight pretty much until I get to those bluffs in the distance. And then see where we're at. Now, I suppose I could be doing this with a projector and use the actual welding train to weld it up. And that would probably be smarter. I'll probably do that for other sections because this is going to get boring. But well, I'm not gonna now because I'm already doing this. And I kind of, at least for the first bit, I kind of do want to do the whole process a little more manual just to kind of really get a feel for how it works. So I was originally going to go all the way in those bluffs, but actually curves take a while. So I maybe want to start my turn now. Because I also am probably going to have to go up in altitude over there. Let's get the parts over close, and then the bright side here, and for a lot of the actual cornering, unlike the demo turn, I shouldn't have to do a hard 90 here. I only need to go like, I don't know, like 30 degrees. So that is far fewer bits. Oh, that is wrong. And I may go, I'll probably go back and put some more supports in this span, but...
Fuel low.
Okay. Just didn't fill quick. But yeah, this feels good for now. So my negative tick is there. I can go ahead. I think I'll do these at -5, so they're a little more gentle, and it makes it easier because each, so to sort of gauge the degree of turn, if each hinge is 5 degrees of turn, I can sort of add them together so I know I need, I don't know, whatever 90 divided by 5 is to get to 90. And with that as a basis, I can sort of work it out. And I can always do the last hinge a little more, a little less, you know, to fine tune it. Now, I do actually want this hinge built because that gives me a control panel. That or... how many... Yeah. Oh. Okay. I don't necessarily need it because... I can do this if I get it stable enough. I should, so long as I make each link stable, I should be able to do it just with shear inertia tensor, and I don't have to worry about, you know, supports and plates to the ground, which is much more convenient. And I have set up settings such that, well, it'll just kind of work. Made it so that unsupported static grids stay static instead of falling down as they're wont to do. Conveniently, I have fuel on there, which makes going back for fuel a little easier. Okay, so that's 15 degrees, and that looks pretty spot on. I think it'll be enough at least to make it work. Which means we stick one of those on, and now... do our track. Convert to station, and off we go. Just realized something. Yeah, the truck should probably have an antenna. Because I currently can't see it. Let's go back, and I also want to get some more... I realized I should probably... steel is good, but I should probably have hinge bits in here. Because those are the things I kind of really need parts for. Oh, you know what? This is something I meant to do quite a while ago and never did because, well, I didn't have parts and then didn't need it. I've never unlocked antennas because I need to build a beacon. So, let's build a beacon. Kind of wanted a beacon up here. And I'll probably stick an antenna. Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. But, one, it gives some nice decoration up top here. And, you know, I use GPS, and that's how I know where home is. Technically, I just go to the ice GPS. It would be nice to not need them to just turn off all the GPSs, because I'll have the track that goes to each station. You know, if I'm out and about, I can always get back here and then follow tracks to any resources. I think that's it's a cool thing you can't always do. You kind of need GPSs usually in Space Engineers to remember where things are. So, okay. Got that. Now we can build antennae. And yeah, I may build one of these fun ones.
Fuel
Yeah,
low.
that's fun.
Fuel critical.
I may set the radius of the beacon way down because interesting. I don't need both of these things, but I do kind of need the antenna. But I want the lights of the beacon on. Let's see. Yeah, it just shows up. Oh well. They're both there, and we'll just deal with that. Alright. We have an antenna for our lift truck, which may not be the correct term for it, but I liked it better than cherry pickers, so we're going with it. Feels more like an industrial term. So normally I would control an antenna, I'd probably tie it into like the engine being running, but the whole point of this is I want the antenna to be there even when I'm not in the truck. So when it's in here, I don't want the antenna. I can just have it off. I just have to turn it on when I leave. I could probably do some complex thing where like it has a sensor, and if it's detecting it's on a grid, it turns the antenna off. But I'm not gonna do that, because that seems hard. We'll just risk losing the truck every so often. Let's load a few hinges worth of hinge in there. Still got plenty of steel. Let's head back out and see if we can't get this track closer to done. Okay, I may not need to push up. Oh, actually, that's an important question. I may need to angle down because curvature is a thing. Yeah, we're currently curving up into the sky here, which is good because we need... Well, yeah, I mean, there's this. We got over that. Got over some bluffy bits. But maybe I wait until I get here to angle down. I don't know, it's hard to know. I do probably want to bring the truck closer. There's a downside of doing all this in the dark is it's hard to tell exactly where I am in relation to the ground, but at the end I will need to level out. Okay. I thought there was ground in front of me there. In fact, let's... Is this the sort of flat area? Yeah. So the truck is probably where I want to level off. Because then I don't have to go up. I'm just... The curvature of the earth is making me go up. And then I can angle back to level. Yeah, I don't know if I've said that. If I said that fully out loud in a clear way. Because the planets and Space Engineers are tiny, tiny things compared to real planets, building a long, straight line pretty quickly encounters curvature. And because gravity is spherical on planets, I quickly go from, you know, flying from a very level track to a track that's actually a pretty steep uphill. Whoops. Hopefully this will be shallow enough that I can still navigate it. But, yeah. It does mean that going up isn't as much of an issue. But it's not as realistic as one would expect. It kind of breaks the illusion pretty quick. So there we are. We're reasonably steep here. If I kinda... That looks pretty level on my trackball. That should be... I can probably get rid of that with one hinge. And similar to the turn method, my angling method, I just put the hinge the other way. Alright, let's see if we can get something that looks right. I am more limited in the angle I can do. Going up and, well, up sort of, because that bottom gap gets bigger. But down I'm really limited because they start colliding. Oh, right. Placed the hinge the wrong way, so... Yeah. So you can see 2 degrees they're practically touching. That's probably all I can do. But, let's see... So if I get myself level... It's hard to say for sure, but... That looks pretty good. So now... We just continue on towards that and see what final things we need to do. Now I could, I suppose, just make this a dead end. Because I don't know, I don't have any other ores further out this way. And I don't know if I will need them. But I think I am going to put in a switch and have a siding here for the station. I think that's going to just be my standard protocol for all of these. Because then I can, if I need to go on, I can easily extend the track. If I don't, then it's not that big a deal. And if nothing else, it gives me, again, more experience doing what I'll need to do at the other end, where I do have more branching ores where I'll have to pass one place to go to the other. Again, for all I know, I need gold still. Maybe the gold is out this way and I've just not explored far enough. I do feel really high. Yeah, like, it's real hard to see. But the line is sort of coming in almost at this level. So maybe I... Oh, nuts.
Fuel low.
Ow.
Fuel critical.
That's not what I wanted. So anyway, what I was contemplating before all that, maybe I do drop myself lower here, basically start going back downhill so that I'm lower to the ground at that end and can flatten out, because I originally wanted... Dang it! Okay, nighttime is dangerous.
Low health.
I need to stop doing things in it. Anyway, I'd originally planned on going through the sort of valley that exists here, down at this lower level. So yeah, I think that'll be my plan. Which does mean getting rid of all this I just placed, which is a bit of a bummer. I don't want to go down much, because a small angle here that far away will have a pretty strong effect. So I think just one more hinge should do me? Hopefully. We'll find out. Yeah, this is looking much better. And with curvature, there's every chance this will actually be level at the end. I hear the thumping. Oh. Okay, that's maybe too far. I'd say that's the right height. Yeah. Okay. Now that does bring up an interesting question. Because where we're coming in, we've kind of... If I do any curve, the curve will end over there. So maybe what I do at this end is put my switch in and have it come straight to there, basically. Run piping with hinges from here to make something that can hook up down there. And then if my switch is like back here, then the switch turns off down the valley. Eventually, if I need to. The storm is inconvenient. I can refill from the truck. Oh yeah, and that didn't take my fuel reserves down that bad. Should probably have been doing that. Okay. I think that's the right length. Let's go back and check how far apart the tracks are. I should probably make plans to have like notes and stuff in the future. Okay. So tracks are 3 apart. That should be doable. I mean, just even flying over it at night, the track looks pretty respectable. So that's exciting. Oh, and... Okay, this gets a little weird. Because I need to have the hinge under the hinge. Oh no, in fact... No, I need the track here. That hinge needs to be my angling hinge, and then I need another hinge on top of it. So that hinge should be the hinge connecting to all this. Which I may be able to do. Though it doesn't matter because this is all too low. You don't go to -5. I think it was 7. And that, I betcha, yep, lines up perfectly there. Okay. I just don't know what I'm doing, can't remember anything. Alright. So this side will eventually be a curvy off bit, but I won't bother with that yet. I'll just go ahead and build this guy. Yeah, to there. Maybe there. We'll feel it out. Point being, this section of track is now laid.
Fuel low.
That put me about right where I want to be.
Fuel critical.
Let's go ahead and make this the safe path. Maybe head home, and I mean, I kinda, if I've got the track down, even if it's not welded, I kinda have to drive on it. So, let's go back and get the train. Ah. Ah, look at that. Nature's alarm clock. The sun screaming into your eyes. Alright. Let's just hold on. We need to get the full experience of this thing. Let's take the funicular up to the observation deck. I mean, it looks pretty cool from here. Ow. Okay, well the bluff kind of blocks everything, the view anyway. Still, that's pretty neat. And from here, nope, we don't have very much fuel. From here, ow. If we go up to the very, we'll just keep going up. That's a long line. Alright. Call the funicular back. So it's here when I need it, and let's ride the rails. Alright. Yep, everything being inside does not help. Everything should be set. Except for I think we're out of juice. Engines are off. Did I do that? Oh, nuts. Okay. Time to replace some of these batteries. Oh. Well, that worked out. That's... We'll drive down to the ice and we can refuel there. But... off we go. That should be enough. Oh, though you know what? We don't produce magic powers, so I'm not... Yeah. Let's just go. We'll deal with the consequences later. This is... We're training. In fact, we'll do this as a hybrid outro and whatnot, and just hope nothing explodes as we hit these middle bits. Perfect. So yeah, we've got a rail line. That is pretty solid progress. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I don't think I'm gonna build the other rail line just yet. I've got some other things to do. Also, I don't know. We're continuing on. We are on a slight uphill slope, but we're hitting our speed limit, not hitting a gravity limit. Yep, and we did that just fine. So yeah, I'll come back and probably do some other stuff that I need to get done around here next week. I may do a little bit of stuff in between, but I don't know. Because I definitely want to weld things on an episode, at least starting it. We'll see what happens, but stuff will happen. There'll probably be more Space Engineers 2 next week, so look forward to that. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out the other stuff I've done, and until next week, bye-bye.